Hey everyone, it's me, Mrs. Guzman, and I'm back with glasses. It's been a really long time since I've done one of these videos, and I really want to keep up with it and start doing more and more in my series. But I wanted to do this inside my classroom to kind of end the year and do something a little bit different than I did to end the year last year. Last year I showed you an end of year project that you could do with your science class, but this year I've transitioned to ELA, as you can see with all the books behind me that I'm starting to clean up in my room. But I did an end of year project for my kids that was definitely a little bit different from the science project. I had 6th graders this year, so I did how to survive the 6th grade. And I made a template for the student to show them what they could do. So I showed them how they could talk about surviving the lockers, and they could put some pictures, how they could talk about surviving PE, surviving the cafeteria, homework and tests, when your friends leave you, teachers, and then some of the fun times that they had in the 6th grade. What I expected them to do was they had to do some writing in here. They needed to be in complete sentences, and they had to be giving some good advice to the future generations. So some of them are not as artistically inclined as other students, so some of them didn't draw as much, and that was okay. I let them have a little bit of freedom. I've just started to read these because I was actually out for a week and a substitute did this with my classes. So I've seen that some of them haven't used complete sentences, and maybe that didn't communicate well since I had a sub. But as you can see, this little girl is telling people to bring their own food, that she didn't like the cafeteria food. I did see some of them, though, when I picked up really quickly, that did write full sentences. And did everything that they were supposed to, and had some artwork on theirs as well. Again, it's an ELA class, so the artwork is not as important, although it is nice for them to get used to showing some visuals in their work. And she talked about dress code and something a little bit different than I did. This little girl is very creative, and how to survive the worst year of your life, and she took some liberties with that and talked about that. Again, she wrote incomplete sentences and completely filled up the advice. And I thought it was cute. She gave advice on boys and pretty much said that they were yucky and don't always treat you very nice, and it's too much drama in middle school and avoid them. So I was like, oh, that's some good advice. Here's one of the boys who did his. He tried to make the font a little bit squiggly and do something different and be a little creative with that. And again, he did some art in the inside and a few sentences. So he got the message across and tried to be creative and artistic. So I thought that this was a good way for them to go back and look at their year. And then I told them that if these were good, I would be passing them out to my 6th graders next year so they could see an idea of what my 6th graders from this year had thought and how they survived the 6th grade, because the 6th grade tends to be a little daunting and intimidating when students first come. So this is my end of year project this year for ELA for 6th graders. Again, it's a little different than what I did with science, because in science I brought all the TEKS together and had them revisit all the TEKS one more time. In this one, I was just trying to get them to write and think about writing that advice and doing some writing in complete sentences and making sense with their writing and being a little creative. So this was their little book, How to Survive the 6th Grade. I hope you like this end of year project, and I hope you try it out with your students. Have a good day.